Hey guys, what's this? Is this $1? Do you know how much this is worth? Yeah, $1's worth $1. It's basically 100 pennies, and 100 pennies make $1. That's $1. Duh. Do you really know what money is? Do you really know what $1's worth? Is it really what you just heard? Or is it something else? Want to find out? Gotta stick around. All of that coming back. Stay tuned. Welcome back, guys. How you guys are doing? So today's question is, what is $1? What is it? What the value of $1 is? What is it really worth? All right. So I know that question just comes up, and a lot of people might say, hey, 100 pennies make $1. Basic math. Everyone knows it. That's the way it is. But is it? Is it really true? Is it really true that $1 is worth 100 pennies? And if so, what's 100 pennies? 100 pennies is what? Is it basically what makes the dollar or connects the dollar to it? Let's find out. So let's get into a little history here about what $1 is, and basically why the market is moving the way the market is, and why is it that people panic when they see their money going up or they see their money going down. So let's get into that a little bit deeper. So basically $1, or what you look at 100 pennies, 100 pennies is basically what gives value to what we call $1 here in the United States. But those pennies have to be connected to something else called raw materials. Raw materials are the things that connects the U.S. currency. So let's look at $1, and $1 is connected by what we look as copper. Copper would be the material that connects to the dollar, making it worth $1 worth. But I got bad news for you guys. That's not the case anymore. That hasn't been the case since 1971, since Richard Nixon himself took the gold off the dollar. So then therefore, the dollar now is really worth what? Because it's not connected to anything. It is not connected to a commodity like gold or silver, which would give it value. Right now, it's connected to nothing but a hot air balloon. And it's just basically up in the sky. That's just basically what it is. It has no value right now. It's no longer considered the word money. It's now been changed over to a fiat or a currency. That's basically what money is right now. Money is durable, is divisible, you can divide it, and it's also fungible. The word fungible means that, you know what, it means the same thing for me as it means for you. $1 in my pocket is the same thing as $1 in your pocket. It doesn't change over. Now, since 1971, when Richard Nixon actually declared that he had to take the gold off the dollar bill, basically the reason for that was because you had France. Yeah. The French decided to go ahead and say, hey, listen, you know what? We want back our gold. So they were actually trading back their US currencies to this way they can get it back for the gold that they had. When Richard Nixon saw this, he saw that this was going to become a world panic. When I say world panic, a huge world panic. So he decided to go ahead and take the dollar off the gold. Because if that didn't happen, US economy would have crashed. It would have been over. So now that we are now in this fiat world, how does that affect the market? As you can see, it affects the market immensely. The market can go up, the market can go down. The market right now is controlled by, well, you may hear this word a lot, by the big whales. The big whales are not me and you. The big whales we're talking about are the banks. These banks have control of basically the market and how the market actually moves. And since 2008, when we was going in for that big bad recession with the market, the banks came in and tried to rescue the their currency. Basically, they came in, they rescued their currency to try to help their currency out. So this way it wouldn't crash. Now, anytime that this happens in history, we see that this is a bad thing simply because it never works out. It hasn't worked out, and it will never work out in millennium years. And we're talking about years going back into the Roman era, and going back even into Greece era. These things just doesn't work out. When the government gets involved and tries to step in, it's always in a bad way. We saw it in 2008 when they came in, and the banks, the first thing they did was they gave themselves some big fat bonuses. Yeah, you can look it up, guys. It's no lie. It is what it is. All right. So now we're in 2018, and now we're in this big bubble. And when I say big bubble, I mean it's a big bubble in the market. And it's just not the tech bubble, and it's just not the .com bubble. It's basically a lot of everything is on a bubble right now. Everything is basically on a bubble. And basically you are really now gambling as far as to which way you're going to swing when you're actually doing trades. You don't know if you're actually going to be a winner on this trade or not, but there's a way of doing this. And there's actually a way of actually coming on top and knowing exactly if the market is going to crash or not. If you guys are paying attention to the market, then you will look for the one thing that will give you an indication that we're going to be in trouble, and that's the bond market. If you look at the bond market and you see how the bond market is moving, this will give you an indication of where the market is going as far as to whether are we going to fall into a recession or not. So I know a lot of you guys panic because it could be that today, Monday, the market dipped fantastic. It went up 500 points, but then Tuesday it loses 600 points. And then Wednesday goes up by another 200 points. And then it rallies and it decelerates, it rallies and it decelerates. And it's just on this big seesaw and you're wondering which way to go. There's a lot of ways of actually investing your money and actually coming off on top. Betting on raw materials is always the best thing. And I will always advise people to actually bet into raw materials. So things like silver and gold are a good thing to always have money on. So if you're betting on anything, always bet on gold and silver. You will see that gold and silver will always be on top. There's no way that this thing will ever drop down. The reason for it is because there's only a certain amount of limit to it. There's only a certain amount of gold out there in the world, and there's only a certain amount of silver out there. So after that, that's it. The reason why Bitcoin, which we're going to talk about Bitcoin now, will never be introduced into the market as part of the big boys to play with, is because it's decentralized. And something that cannot be controlled is something that the big banks don't want to deal with. Banks want to have their hands on everything as far as to how they control it and how they manipulate it. Having Bitcoin in the world is something where it is decentralized and there is no control. Now, what gives the dollar the power of being a dollar? You give the dollar the power of being a dollar. It's basically a piece of paper. That's basically what it is. What's the difference between you having the feds printing out money and you having that money, and you being in the basement and printing out counterfeit money? What's the difference? You might say to yourself, well, the difference is that, it's the feds. They have the seal of approval on it. Hey, come on, that's the feds, you know what I'm saying? But in reality, it's just a promise note. It's something that is just you have faith on, as far as to saying, okay, you know what? Yeah, I believe that this is a dollar, and the world around you believe that this is a dollar, and therefore you call it a dollar, is basically what it is. In 1971, that faith was breaking down. And not only was it France that was looking to get their gold back, but Germany was also looking to get their gold back. And this caused this big problem where now we have it now as a fiat. And it is what it is, guys. So to look forward, you must always look back. And to understand money, you must see where money has come from and where it has been going. And this is something that ever since the dollar has come off the standard of gold and silver, it's just basically in a big bubble. So we always are in a big bubble right now, guys. We're chasing money, and that's what we do here. But as we're chasing money, we're in a big bubble with it. So we just have to be careful and know that we have to have some kind of reserve that will always stand the test of time. And with that, you just can't change it. The test of time, it always will be gold and silver. So no matter which way you go, no matter which way you invest, always make sure that on your portfolio you have something with gold and silver in it. Investing on raw materials like this will only work out for you when the market does decide to go on a recession and does a crash, if it goes that way. Okay. Now another thing is with cryptocurrency, all right, is that besides that it's unregulated, as you can see, is decentralized and it's not regulated by anything. The next thing is that, you know what, the world has not embraced it, and that's the best way I could say. The world has not embraced it. A lot of people have not embraced it as far as to being something that can be and is legit as far as to actually doing business with. Cryptocurrency is the most legal. When I say legal, it's the most legalist way of actually doing business. Fiat, on the other hand, is the most illegal thing to do, believe it or not. I know I'm gonna get a whole bunch of wild comments down in the comments section below, maybe, but it just is what it is. So think about it, guys. If you can't control something and something is there to run on itself, then basically, and it monitors itself, then basically you have no control of it. So it might work out better. But if you are trying to control something that you have no knowledge of and have no experience over, and I'm talking about money here, okay, then you're bound to fail. And this is basically true. The reason why they don't teach economics in classrooms to students from first grade all the way to the 12th grade is because they don't want them to get educated as far as to where is money and where does it come from. The idea of educating the population will only cause chaos to the population. So a country like England that's right now fighting and don't want the Brexit, there's a reason why they don't want the Brexit. There's a reason why they're fighting the Brexit. And there's a reason for all of that. So if you look a little bit deeper and you jump into the rabbit hole, you'll see what exactly is going on. Now, I know this might sound all like a conspiracy, but in reality it's not. This is something that a lot of people have known for years and decades. And this is not something that is new and something that didn't just turned overnight. It just isn't. This is something that's been around. But you must educate yourself and you must be able to understand that in order to be in control of yourself and to know yourself, you must understand that there are people that are on top, that are the puppet masters trying to control you. And the way that they control you is by actually money. And once you're able to cut those strings, well, the sky's the limit. Think about it. Sky's gonna be the limit for you guys. So look into it. What would it hurt to actually go down the rabbit hole and just take a peek? Hey, you never know. You just might find something that you might like. And if you guys think that I'm going crazy or that, you know what, maybe I have lost it, hey, leave me a comment at the section below and let me know how much I actually lost it on a conspiracy, if you want to call it, which it isn't, but as if we want to call that. All right. And as always, guys, don't forget, we're always in the business of making money and always trying to get that money. So always keep your eyes on the prize, because when you don't, you're bound to lose. All right. And that's today's message. So don't forget, guys, as always, more gains, more gains, more gains. Giving it your maximum effort. Peace out.